And we're live. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't know if I've ever told you this, but one of the main reasons, believe it or not, that I do these meal planning sessions on Thursdays for everyone is honestly like I do when it comes to my workouts. It's for that accountability. We always have like the best intentions to plan our week, and we say we're going to do it ahead of time, and then the weekend comes around, and then Sunday we're just kind of sort of tired, still relaxing. By the time we think about it, we're usually running out the door, or we wait till like we're actually hungry on Monday, and that's pretty much the extent of our planning is what we're going to order for lunch. So I fall into the same thing. I although I'm at home, it's something about planning ahead of time the week before, doing my groceries ahead of time, and even prepping. I'm not a big prepper. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe in these long, I mean, some people really love to do it, but the moment I have to prep a lot, I feel like it's a major chore. So I'm really big, although I do have the time, I'm really big about finding very simple, quick preps. I'm going to first give a couple of examples for before I forget. All the menus will be going out for the free group. Those of you that are in our A Day in a Life of a Lifer, those menus will be going out tonight. So be on the lookout for that. But even more simplified, I wanted to give a little bit of background, especially for those that are not familiar with those of us that are doing Beachbody. A lot of us are either doing, we have two nutrition programs. One is 2B Mindset. 2B Mindset is more of a mindset. It's actually run by an amazing nutritionist, friend of ours that just lost 100 pounds on her own. So she became basically the product of her product, right? She lost her 100 pounds. She really studied nutrition, and really she dives deep into mindset. And then there's Ultimate Portion Fix, which is also a very good friend of mine, Autumn Calabrese, major trainer, but she's also works very closely her programs with the nutritionists in Beachbody. And she wants to make sure that you get the most out of her workouts. So I tend to do more of the portion control type of thing. I'm letting people in. I do a little bit more of the portion control. I also dabble with macros and time nutrition that Autumn Calabrese is also very good at, regardless of what your plan is. The menu we'll be sending out tonight can cover a whole lot of bases. I give you a lot of options for breakfasts, for lunches. Hi, Nati. For dinner, for snacks. I'm going to address real quick because I had one participant ask for lunch ideas. And that's usually the area where I need a little bit of help or a little more ideas from. Sometimes I have all the time in the world, and sometimes, like, look, I just, I'm quick and simple. One little strategy that I do implement is during the week, regardless of what I have already prepped, I always ask myself, what am I in the mood for? Not because I'm going to disregard what I've planned and prepped for the week, but because it already gives me an idea, or I at least spend the week thinking about, okay, what do I want to plan and prep for next week? So this week, I've actually been in the mood for pasta. And since we are not a very restrictive group, right? I don't believe in restricting ourselves. You're never going to hear me say you can't have this, you can't have that. It's all in moderation. I do love homemade pasta. I'm not sure if I'm going to home make my pasta because I'm not sure I have time for that this week. Let's see. But at the very least, I can do some whole grain pasta. Since one of the participants asked me for lunch ideas, what I've done is I wanted to suggest a couple things. I know a lot of people love salads, and I do too, but I don't know what it is about going to a restaurant. I prefer salads when I go to a restaurant, but I'm not a really big fan of preparing my own salads. But if you are a salad person and you love to prepare your salads, Amazon has really cheap jars, and I literally just stack them up. You can put some spinach, pick your favorite green spinach, you get romaine. I don't do iceberg only because there's not a lot of nutritional value in that. But you can do arugula, and you can go crazy. There's so many ideas with the arugula. I love the arugula, either feta or even goat cheese. and then I put strawberries on top, and I drizzle balsamic um, glaze. Now, I will say I'm always reading the ingredients. So if I'm, for example, doing the balsamic glaze, I make sure there's no additional sugar. I want just balsamic vinegar, just a little bit thicker. Um, you can put beans for any of the other ones. You can put tomatoes. You want to, you don't even have to be cooking a whole lot. For example, one of the things that I'm going to be making are these little bowls. I don't cook my own chicken because I'm lazy. It's not that much fun to just cook chicken for prepping. So I will literally buy in Publix, in our grocery store, a rotisserie chicken already cooked, and I just chop it up, like done already. And you can add that to your salad bowl, to your salad jar. Those of you that want a carb in there, you can either we consider beans and that kind of stuff carbs. I prefer like bowls. So I'll do brown rice bowls. I just mentioned pasta. So next week I am going to make enough pasta for the week. And I'm also going to add on top some ground turkey, um, almost like Mexican style. I make my own seasoning. I buy all I already know like the measurements, right? Like I'll put like depending on how big, either a teaspoon or a tablespoon of chili powder. I put garlic powder in there. I put onion powder in there. I put a little bit of cumin in there. I do sea salt, and I just basically mix all that in. If I see that the ground turkey is too dry, I'll add little bits of water until I see that it's the right consistency. I chop up tomatoes to also make it a little bit more moist, because as the tomatoes start cooking with the ground turkey, and I make enough for the week. Now, there are times that I'm just not in the mood to prep, or something happens over the weekend. And so come Monday or even Sunday, depending on when I'm cooking, depending on what's going on, I will make dinner, but I will make sure that I multiply, sometimes two, three, depending on how many servings that dinner is. And I will have that for lunch for the entire week. Yes, guys, having something, even if it's the same thing. I mean, if you want to go crazy and have two different options for the week, by all means. I'm lazy. And so I'm always all about shortcuts. You give me one thing to do for the whole week, I will eat the same lunch every day for the whole week. And then if I get tired of it, I will change it up for the following week. Um, Christine, you were going to tell me, is there any particular area that you would love, especially when it comes to nutrition, that you would love to tweak, or perhaps improve, or maybe an idea for?
So I would say for us that our biggest thing to tweak is our dinner.
Okay.
I mean, we're good for lunch, but sometimes we get home too late, so I can't really have a lot of carbs because I don't want to put that into my body right before I go to sleep for a few hours. But our go-to normally is chicken in a crock pot, season it up, shred it, takes 4 hours, don't have to monitor it, and sometimes do like a quinoa casserole basically, and it's tastes like kind of like a quinoa enchilada casserole. Super, super good.
Love that. Love that. Yes, quinoa bowls are another favorite of mine. I love, love, love that idea. If anybody has any air fryers, or even, I love the crock pot idea, anything like that, that you can just throw everything in and be done with it. I have a friend of mine that does the same thing, on actually specifically in the air fryer. She seasons fresh shrimp, cuts up zucchini and any of her onions, whatever her favorite vegetables are, literally puts it all together with a little bit, like a teaspoon of olive oil, throws it in the air fryer, shakes it every once in a while, and she's got dinner done in just a few minutes. So that's a quick and easy dinner idea. If you have a convection oven, but not an air fryer, the same thing. The only thing is you got to open up the oven. The only reason I like the air fryer, and people have always asked me, do I think it's worth it? I used to not think it's worth it, because I'm the kind of girl that likes to have her counters like empty. I like a nice, clean look. So I found a spot for my big lack of a better word, big turkey air fryer. And I take it out. I really do feel it's worth it because it's just a one. I don't have to clean anything. Like even the basket, I wrap that basket in aluminum foil, and I spray it with a little bit of olive oil so nothing sticks to it. So I don't even have any cleaning. I love when you have I also have a one sheet pan. I think it's chicken recipe. I haven't made it in a while. Now that I'm saying I just might be making that next week. But I'm all about like the one sheet, one pan, one pot meal kind of thing. I'm also really big that it has to be very tasty. But for those of you that are like, Fran, I have no idea what to expect next week for dinner. I eat, maybe, we've got some moms in here that have to take their kids around, or we're not sure if we're going to be late, in meetings at work or whatnot. So when I do my groceries, when that's my situation, I will purchase several lean proteins. Okay. So yes, chicken, you mentioned, I will do the ground turkey thing. I'll even buy turkey breasts. I will buy pork loins. So like whatever are the meat, the proteins I'm in the mood for. And then I also buy several vegetables, sometimes even cut up. I mean, yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but I'm really big about like what my time's worth a lot more than the extra, few dollars I spend on, chopped up vegetables. Throwing everything in a pan in the oven, in an air fryer. I love zucchinis chopped up, spray those, same thing with asparagus. If I really want to go crazy and do like a little saute, I can do the green and red peppers with onions. I'll do even some carrots. I just boil them really quick so that they're nice and soft. And then I just take them out, put a teaspoon of butter. Yes, we can have butter. I don't know where butter got like such bad reputation. Butter's great. My favorite's Irish Gold because it's a pure cream butter. And I drizzle some honey on top or some maple syrup just to make them a little bit sweet. And there you have like so many vegetable options ready to go. When it comes to protein, especially when we're cooking dinner, my biggest advice is whatever you add to it, just read the label, right? I'm really particular when it comes to seasoning. So I'll always use any kind of herb. I'll use sea salt, not too much, but I'll use sea salt. I try to stick to Himalayan sea salt. The everything but the bagel seasoning, super pure, super natural. Throw that pretty much on anything and it tastes well. I'm really big about seasoning my things. Like I mentioned, when I do my own, either my chili or my taco meat or I basically throw my whatever seasonings in a bowl and I just stir them really quick and I pat them on whatever the protein is. And if it's a meat, then I'm searing. Flank steak is also really, really lean. You want to make sure you get the lean cut and you just want to sear that. I'll even glaze it with some balsamic. But like I mentioned, I'm going to be sending quite a few ideas in the menus I'm going to be emailing. Natalia, how about you? Did you have any particular meals that you would like ideas for? You're muted, by the way. It's okay. I mute everybody just in case.
Yeah, I think specifically for travel.
Okay.
If you have any like snack recommendations?
I do.
I know you're Miss Travel, but off that, and then since I just purchased Shakeology for the first time, if you have any like recommendations for that too.
Okay, I do. Let's start with snacks. I'm assuming that's what you were asking for. Yeah. Okay, so there's a couple of things I do with travel. There's different types of travel, right? I usually, the first thing I do wherever I'm going, especially if I'm being super, super intentional. What do I mean by that? There's some travel, my husband and I are big time foodies, right? So there's some travels that we're there just to eat really good food. So I'm not going to be as intentional. I mean, I'm really good about breakfast. I'm pretty good with lunches. And then I go all out during dinners. That's usually like my go-to, rule of thumb when it comes to travel. But if I'm being really intentional, the first thing I do is I find a grocery store close to whether I'm renting a home or a hotel. And I literally, and if I can, I will, so that I don't have to go to the grocery because I hate doing the groceries. I will have groceries delivered. What kind of things do I have delivered? I will have Fage, F-A, I don't know if I say it right, Fage. I will have my 2% Greek yogurt. I will have stevia and whatever berries I'm in the mood for, and I'll have those delivered. Those are my favorite snacks. I can throw them pretty much anywhere. They don't get bad, like they can stay out of the refrigerator for a couple of hours. Usually every hotel has a little refrigerator. So I'll do that. And then I just whip that up. Sometimes I'll even throw it into the hotel cup for a bigger cup, whip it up with a spoon, puts a packet of stevia, and then I'll add whatever berries. That fills me up quite a bit. I make these Blondie brownies that are delicious. They are gluten-free. I will warn you though, they're really tasty. Yes, they're pretty up there in sugar, but it's natural sugar. But still, like if you're being really careful about sugar, you want to be careful with that. And I'll actually put a few little chocolate chips in there. They are addictive, so you're not going to want to just have one. So just make sure that when you make them, you hide the rest because you're going to want to keep them. Same thing when I mentioned the Greek cups, I do the same thing with either hummus or guacamole. Like it really depends on what I'm in the mood for, but I will buy the individual packets. I always pack some sort of insulated bag with me so that, let's say that we're going to go on a tour, or my kids are, when my daughter was doing her travel volleyball, I always had like a little insulated bag. Like I said, I'm not perfect with every meal, but if I'm really good, so for breakfast, it's so easy to just have a lean protein. If you can get an omelet somewhere or a breakfast sandwich, and throw in some vegetables in there, great. You mentioned Shakeology. The other thing I always have delivered to my room is spinach. I double, like I literally put 2 cups of spinach, especially when I'm traveling, because I know my chances of vegetables are going to be less when I'm going out and about. A lot of places don't have like really lean vegetables. They just really, soak it up with all kinds of oils or whatnot. So I put a lot of spinach in my shake. I also have some power protein balls that you can make with almond butter that you can make, especially if I don't know if you have chocolate Shakeology, but that's something that I make as well. You can do that with vanilla as well. You would just add some either cocoa powder or even peppermint extract. But remind me for that, I can always send you that recipe. What else? Lunches. I don't know if you knew this, but if you find in that grocery store, all you need to do is get a nitrate free, like lean ham. I literally will buy 1/4 pound packets. So I'll buy several of them. I'm totally okay with just rolling up my ham, and like that's one of my snacks, and it's a protein. You can do that with turkey. I just don't love turkey. So I'll do that with just a ham. I'm just particular about the ham, but I will throw that sucker in my little insulated bag, and I'm walking around with whole grain crackers. And that will be my lunch sometimes. You know what I mean? I rather do several like small meals throughout the day and then have a really yummy dinner where I splurge, have my glass of wine or my cocktail. Just be careful with cocktails. Most cocktails have a lot of sugar in them, so just be careful with that. That doesn't mean you can't have them. Just be conscious of if you're having so many over your vacation that you come back and you're like, wah, wah, everything I worked for up until my vacation, there it went. Does that give you some ideas, answer some of your questions?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I know a lot of people are going to be traveling now, spring break and whatnot. So this is the perfect opportunity. Like I said, I have my groceries delivered. I do try to make ahead things like brownies and that kind of stuff. And I literally just put them in my bag. And those are my lifesavers.
Yeah. What do you think if I don't have access to a grocery store? Like if I'm going camping.
If you're going camping, there is a Walmart nearby. Go to the Walmart. I'm the queen of going to the Walmart. Same thing applies, Natalia. Like it really depends on how intentional you want to be. If you're like, Fran, I'm not doing the grocery store, it's not going to happen. Well, then I would tell you, already do your research with, like, already plan out. It doesn't have to be perfect. At the end of the day, if you're on vacation, you're on vacation. But how are you going to plan out at least a good breakfast, a good lunch, and snacks? So plan that out. So like look around your maybe at your hotel or maybe wherever you're camping. What are you doing for breakfast? Make sure that you have probably your best meal breakfast, and then a pretty good lunch. And then hopefully you have some snack options, getting lean proteins, omelets. I can get an omelet even at a, at a Holiday Inn. You know what I mean? Like I can find those kinds of things pretty much anywhere. I That's usually my go-to. And like I said, I try to pack in as many vegetables for that meal for two reasons. And especially, oh, and something with good fiber. Fiber really helps, how do you call it, keep you like full longer. So whole grain toast, even better if you have like brown rice or even a sweet potato. Like those are the things that are high in fiber and that will keep you full longer. And then I always implement the vegetable first, even when I'm splurging. Like I'm going to dinner, right? I'm gonna have like the steak and the sauce but the first thing I always ask them is, can I have some grilled vegetables? Even if I'm not in the mood for them, even if I don't like them that much, I fill myself up with the vegetables and then I go all out. I mean, I'm on vacation. I'm going to enjoy everything in front of me in moderation, obviously. Um, Another little thing I do, if you have a sweet tooth, because I know my husband does, when somebody orders dessert, I don't tell myself I can't have dessert. Hi, especially if I'm on vacation, I'm going to have the dessert, but I wait. And I wait till almost the entire dessert is done. But I tell everybody at the table, please leave me 2 bites. And that way, even when I want more, it's gone. I've already given myself some dessert. And whatever that is, maybe it's 4 bites for you, maybe it's 3. Can you leave this much? For me, I know once I have a bite, I want more. And then I convince myself in the moment more and more and more. So if there's something that I'm like, I know I'm going to want to love, I'll give you a perfect example. We were just on vacation. My husband ordered the most delicious. I'm a bread girl. He ordered these really soft pretzel sticks. So like freshly baked pretzel sticks with high beer cheese. Like it has me written all over it. And I'm just staring at it. I'm like, oh my God, so I'm like, all right, you know what? You're going to leave me 1 stick, but finish the rest of them. Please leave me some cheese sauce and hurry up because I like my stuff warm. He knows already. Like, he's like, I got it. And everybody ate. And then look, I enjoyed the heck out of that pretzel. But then that's it. I could have ordered more, I guess, if I wanted to. But like, honestly, I didn't need to. I was perfectly okay. So those are like the little strategies I do when I go, I was going to say camping, but camping too, when I go traveling, when I'm celebrating my birthday, that kind of stuff. Does that help?
Yeah, for sure. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Awesome. I see we have a Heather. I don't recognize Heather, but Heather, is there I don't know if you can unmute yourself or if you want to add in the chat, if there is a particular meal that you would like a little help in, I'd be happy to address it. And I'm going to open up the chat just in case. I don't know if Heather hears me. In the meantime, while we're waiting for Heather, any other ideas or issues or struggles we have with any of the meals, especially with next week? Nati, I love that you're already looking ahead for the week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Even better. How are we doing, Christine? Anything you need help with?
No. Heather just hit me up. Her son is crying currently in the car. They're traveling, so that's why she's not answering or turning it on right now.
Not a problem. Let her know that we are recording. So I'm going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes and she can always listen to it, especially the part with traveling since she's traveling. Hopefully that helps. All right, Nati, anything else you want me to cover? No, we're good. Awesome. Okay, I think I read, let me just double check the messages I got as well. Okay, I think I've covered everybody's questions and struggles. And like I mentioned, I'll mention again, we will, all the coaches in this group will be sending you our menu today, even if you don't use it right away, but you have so many options. I highly recommend that you stop what you're doing, pick your breakfast, your lunch, and then a couple of ideas for dinners for the following week so that you can somewhat already have that. Also, we are going to be having a live workout on Saturday morning, so be on the lookout for that. We'll be posting Zoom links and times. And then on Sunday, we're actually going to be prepping. We're going to have a little wine and food night. We're going to be prepping one of the recipes together. I'll be making sure that I send you what the recipe is and the ingredients and all of that so that we can go ahead and prep together and have some fun Sunday night. All right, guys, I hope everyone's having a beautiful Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. And I can't wait to hear from all of you. Bye, guys. Bye.
Thanks.
You're welcome.